Right, that's good. So we have been starting. All right. So at the same time, keep in mind Friday evening, right? After around after 2, right? Around 2:30. So I'll be having an extra session, right? And a revision session for you.
Okay, sir.
Friday, yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Right. So have you studied with diversity of focus? Couple of them all.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Sit tell me what do you mean by the diversity? What can you understand by the term diversity? What does diversity එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ?
Classification of plants.
Diversity කියලා කියන්නේ plant classify කරනවා කියන එක නෙමෙයි. No, not that.
How the plants are different?
Right. Yes, true. Right. So basically, here turn on the videos. Dulmir, I can see Dulmir, Iman, Anna also I can see. Aditya also I can see. Shalini also I can see. Vihang also I can see. Thalia, Vihang and Vidun. I can see you all. Turn on the camera. Right. True situation. So basically, අපි diversity එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ we basically when we consider about the diversity is basically there are differences in between organisms, basically plants, right? There are differences between the plant species. Plant species අතර ඒගොල්ලෝ අතර වෙනස්කම් තියෙනවා, right? ඔන්න වෙනස්කම් වලට තමයි අපි diversity එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ. The diverse nature, right? The differences in between the species. There are some trees which are tall, some are short, right? Some are branched, unbranched, some bear fruits, some are not, right? Just like that, there are different differences are there, right? So based on these differences, okay, of course we can classify organisms, plant. That's true. අපිට ඔන්න ඔය වෙනස්කම් ටික අරගෙන ඔය වෙනස්කම් නිසා අපිට මේගොල්ලන්ගේ එක එක types වලට බෙදන්න පුළුවන්. That's true. Correct? So diversity is basically the differences between the plant diversity is the difference between the plant organisms, right? Plant අතර තියෙන වෙනස්කම් විවිධත්වයට තමයි අපි diversity එක කියලා කියන්නේ, right? So then you should be able to name the the shoot system of a plant, root system of a plant, right? So root system is basically consisting of how many type of roots are there in the root system?
Two types of fruits. Two
Yeah,
types
so we
of
have
fruits.
two types as tap roots and lateral roots, right? Yes, very good, right? So then when we consider shoot system is basically consisting of four main types. Four things are there.
Flowers, fruits, leaves,
Flowers, fruits,
and
leaves, and
stem.
stems. Right? Those are the main types. Right?
Okay.
Then sometimes they'll be giving you a certain picture, then you have to name those parts. Right? So වගේ එකක් ඒගොල්ලෝ දෙන්න පුළුවන්. Right. So this time exam එක හොඳ ලස්සන පාඩම්
Everything's coming up roses. Try asking, how's the weather today in the city of roses?
See, like 90% of the papers were all, like a carbon copy of the textbook. Right? And then most of the answers are very similar. Right? So මම ලකුණු දුන්නේ අත්‍තරම නොදී බැරි කමට. Because I can't put just wrong now. Right? So you can't do like that.
You can catch it, you can pass it on, you can get it, but you cannot throw it. What is it?
With the hard copy actually, but the thing is, but in this time examination, they are both checking the soft copy and the hard copy. So you have to send the soft copy during a certain period of time, and then right after that you have to hand over the hard copy to the school as well, right? Marks mean too, sir. Sorry, Medul mean.
Science.
I am the first on earth, the second in heaven. I appear 2 times in a week, and you can only see me once in a year.
We got
Yes,
marks, sir.
We got marks, sir.
We got marks, sir.
Even me, school like teacher given nothing. Even I told you marks, right? This.
No, sir.
No,
No, sir. No, sir, you didn't say in the class.
So nobody gave you the marks because I gave the marks. Marks is good after.
Sir, I got the marks.
Because then හරියට ඔක්කොම කට්ටිය එහෙම කළා marks ටික යවන්නකොට දැන්
30 white horses on a red hill. First they champ, then they stamp, then they stand still. What are they?
no, sir.
Sir, we got the marks.
I am the first on earth, the second in heaven. I appear 2 times in a week, and you can only see me once in a year, although I am in the middle of the sea. What am I?
Oh, see whether I have it or not, but I don't think so. Dulbir is in 8A.
B, sir. 8B.
Who didn't got the marks, science marks? Dulbir ඉදරද?
Sir, I didn't get.
Miyasi, no? So Miyasi has 72, Dulbir has 93. Who else?
Sir, I got 91 marks.
Aditya. Aditya has 90 marks.
90 marks.
Yes. Right. So if there's anyone who didn't got the marks, tell me. Magala science marks විතරයි දෙන්න මම ඒක කියන්නම්. Right. But your teacher supposed to send you the marks and everything. Right. I think she must have sent you. ඔය වෙලාවට දැන් ඉතින්. පොඩ බලන්න දුන්න ඔක්කොම marks ට එවෙලා තියෙනවා. Right. So right. So then when we were talking about the diversities, so we discussed about different, there are diversities in different part of the plant as well. Right. So can you remember there are diversities according to the type of the leaf type right? There are different types of leaves are there. Some have the rounded ends, some have pointy ends. Can you remember those?
Yes, sir.
Leaf margin changes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
And then Anisha, can you tell me about the leaf arrangement? 2 types of leaf arrangement that we have. So what do you mean by leaf arrangement, Dulmira?
Pattern of fixing the leaf of the stem of the plant is known as leaf arrangement.
Yes, leaf arrangement is basically the pattern or the process by which the leaves have been fixed to the stem, right? In a way that it is exposed to the sunlight. Surya lokaya ira awuwa hondata ganna කොහොමද මෙන්න මේ quality එක arrange වෙලා තියෙන්නේ fix වෙලා තියෙන stem එක. That is what the main idea behind leaf arrangement. Leaf arrangement is basically the pattern, the systematic pattern by which the leaf has been fixed to the stem in order to get a maximum amount of sunlight. Right, Anisha? Now tell me two types of leaf arrangement types.
So examples.
So
No, I want the
example,
arrangement types, Anisha.
leaf arrangement paired at knots and in opposite directions.
Right, example for that.
Guava.
Right, guava. Right, that's good. Right, payroll අපේ ගොඩක් අය බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් එක. So basically leaves are arranged at
Three or
the
more leaves
one
attached
node.
at each knot of the stem.
Sorry, I couldn't hear. Yes, Anisha.
3 or more leaves attached at each knot on the stem.
That's true. That's also the whirling විදිහනවා. Anisha පොත බලනවාද? බලන්න එපා පල්ලෙහා තියන්. I see you, right? Right. So then and then again we have, right, can you see there are two other types of Dulmira. කියන්න බා.
Leaves are in spiral way. For example, Venivel.
Right.
Kand. So for
අන්දනේ
spiral.
කැන්ද.
Leaves are in alternative side. Katu anoda.
අනෝද. Right? අනෝදල ගොඩක් වෙලා අපිට ඔක බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. තාත්තා කියලා කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ have you heard about that term?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Got it?
I have eaten even.
Very good. Right. So then, when we consider about the leaves, right? Can you remember? So these leaves have, basically the plants have different adaptations to live in different environments. හරිද? එක adaptations තියෙනවා මේගොල්ලන්ට එක environments වල ඒගොල්ලන්ට ජීවත් වෙන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ some plants have the ability to highly adaptive to live in aquatic environment. Some are highly adaptive to live in terrestrial environment. ඒ කියන්නේ හොඳට අපි කියන්නේ හොඳට අවුව හම්බ වෙන නිකන් අර රළු පැත්තක, right? ඒ කියන්නේ එච්චර වැස්සක් නැත්තේ, right? සාමාන්‍ය හිතන්න කරකශ පැත්තක, right? rough and coarse environment එක සමහර plants වලට ජීවත් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. They are highly adaptive to live on these environments, right? So now Miyasi, tell me, what do you mean by transpiration? Miyasi,
What, sir?
what do you mean by transpiration?
Process of evaporation water from plants.
Right, true, right? Transpiration is basically the process by which the water is getting evaporated from the plant leaves. Plant leaf වලින් වතුර එළියට යන එකට තමයි අපි transpiration කියලා කිව්වේ. Right? So those kind of things are very important, very vital information. You have to keep those in mind. Right? So what are the structures that we have to move water in and out of the plant and to move gases in and out of the plant, Dinugi? What is the structure that we have? Yes, very good. So we have stomata, right? So by using stomata, water vapor and everything is moving in and out. Yes, Senori, Vihanga and Aditya, so I have to remove you, right? So I have to do that if you're not turning on the camera. If you have an issue with that, just tell me. Right. Right. So Anna, tell me about some adaptation by plants to minimize the transpiration. Transpiration එක minimize කරන්න plants වලට තියෙන adaptations මොනවද? Some adaptations.
Sticky waxy leaves.
මොකද්ද? couldn't hear.
Sticky and waxy leaves.
Right, sticky and waxy leaves are there, right? Another one, Senuri?
Thin leaves.
Right, thin leaves, right?
Leaves produce spines.
Right, spines, leaf had been turned into thorns or spines, like in cactus, right?
Reduce number of leaves.
Leaf number has been getting reduced, right? ගොඩක් වෙලා ඒකත් වෙනවා, right? Thick waxy උඩ ගාලා වගේ බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් අපිට සිතුවි basically in temple trees, oleander temple trees, right? තේරෙනවද? මොකද ඔයගොල්ලෝ අරලි වල, right? Basically in temple trees you can find this. Right.
Reduce number of leaves.
Yes, number of leaves can be also be reduced. Right, that's also true.
By
Right.
Navahandi.
True. That's also true. Right. So at the same time, some leaves they basically have the adaptation to store the water. They basically have they are highly adaptive to store water. Just like when you consider about Akkapana and aloe vera, can you remember about those two? They basically have a fleshy, fleshy tissue is there right inside the plant. So because of that, they are highly adaptive to store water. Because highly adaptive වෙනවා වතුර store කරලා තියාගන්න. Got it? Right. Right. So tell me about some different types of plant stems. Vihanga?
Plant stems.
Yes, different types of plant stems.
Aerial stem.
Right. Which can be seen in what kind of plants?
Climbing stem.
Climbing stems are also there, right? Yes, Anisha. Some more.
Sir, can I say?
Yes, do it.
Photosynthetic stems.
Right. Photosynthesis stems are also there.
So underground stems.
Underground stem.
Stems are there.
Stem.
Suckers.
Propagative stems.
Right. Propagative stems are there.
So can we say suckers?
Various
Suckers are also there. Yeah. Suckers are basically produced by basically in banana you can see suckers. Right. Suckers are again falling under propagative stems. Huh? Suckers are basically propagative stems. මොටෙය කියලා කියවලගේ මොටෙය වගේ එනවා කියලා කියන suckers.
Underground stem.
Two underground stems are also there, right? Photosynthetic stems are also there, right? Climbing stems are there, like in venival and beans, right? Beetles also, right? Right. So right. Next thing is, when we consider about the diversity of the plant roots, Anisha, right? There are two main types of plant roots. What are the two main types of plant roots, Anna?
Lateral root. Taproot.
Right. Two main types are basically taproots and fibrous roots, right? But then falling under them, there are again different types of roots are there. Because ඒකට ඇතුලේ තව different types අපිට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Tell me about those things. Different type of roots. Yes, Kalana, tell me about two different type of roots.
Taproot.
Louder, Karan, I can't hear you.
Still true.
True, still true also there, right? What else? Another one?
True.
Can't hear you, Karan. Couldn't hear you.
Fruit.
Prop roots are also there, right? True. Yes, Sidhu, tell me some more.
Tuberous roots, underground roots,
Right.
prop roots, tilt roots, adventitious roots.
Adventitious roots, that's also true, right? So what basically happened in aerial roots? What is the basic idea behind these aerial roots?
Aerial roots.
Yes, Sidhu.
Aerial roots absorb air from the atmosphere and supply to the plant.
Yes, very good, right? So basically, aerial roots has the ability of absorbing the atmospheric moisture. It has the ability of absorbing the atmospheric moisture into the the plant body, right? So mainly you can see aerial roots in orchid and vanilla. Orchid and vanilla plants, it is more observable, right? And then can you remember what respiratory roots? So we had respiratory roots like in yes, huddle, right? Mangroves, right? So they basically have the ability. Yes.
Sonatia.
Sonaratia.
Yes, Sonaratia.
Sonaratia.
Mahakadol.
Yes, that's why I told you mangroves, right? So Sonaratia and Mahakadol, they are basically falling under mangroves, right? So they basically emerges up right from the ground, so they can absorb the air, right? So they have a very specialized type of roots. These are more mainly seen in mangroves. Kadolana, right? And what is the main idea behind a propagative root, Shalini? What is a propagative root? What is the contrasting, distinctive feature in propagative roots?
Sir, can I tell?
Sir, can I tell?
Yes, Henry.
They produce new plants.
Yes. So propagative roots, they basically have the ability of producing a new plant, a novel plant. Yes, Shalini. That's true, right? So they basically have the ability of producing a new plant by existing part of the plant, right? By basically the propagated roots, no. So basically the existing part of the root. මුලේ ගිහිල්ලා පැලයක් මුලේ කෑල්ලක් අරන් ගිහලා කොහෙ හිටියව ගම මොකද ඒක පැලවෙනවා. Like harili.
Guava.
Yes.
Banana.
Delhi.
Right? Yes.
Curry leaves.
True. Right?
Guava.
Yes.
Banana.
Banana වල එහෙම banana basically යට root සම්පූර්ණ සකයකමත් එක්ක අරන් යන්නේ. Not just the part of a root, root එකේ part එක හිටියව කියලා එන්නේ නැහැ. සම්පූර්ණ root එක මේව ගන්නවා පිය. Right. Then can you remember we discussed about the nature of matter, about the matter lesson, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So what do you mean by matter, Anna? Moga? Yes, Situgi. What is matter?
Collection of particles exist space among them.
Yes, a bit correct. That's true, but not the
Things
exact
that
answer.
occupy space. Things that occupy.
Particles space among them.
No, not that. Yes.
Things
That is
that
discarded.
occupy space.
Yes, right. So basically, matter is anything that has a mass and occupying a space. බරක් තියෙන ඉඩක් ගන්න ඕනම දෙයකට අපි matter කියලා කියනවා. anything Kalana that has a mass and occupying a space.
Like
right?
air.
Air is also true matter. Everything what you can see. ඔයාලට පේන හැමදේම matter තමයි matter වලින් තමයි හැදලා තියෙන්නේ. And even the things you can't see like air, right? And the elements and atoms and everything, those tiny particles, they all have a certain amount of mass. So they are basically matter, right? So now ඔයාලා හිතන්නකො පේනවා හිතන්නකො you are staring at the phone or the laptop. Now that is made up of the solid matter, right? The matter is in the solid state. And remember there were two or three different states of matter as what?
Solid,
Yes,
liquid,
yes.
gas.
Solid,
Then-
liquid, gas.
Yes, we had solid, liquid, and gases, right? So we had solid,
Solid,
state,
liquid,
liquid
gas.
state, and the gaseous state, right? Those are the three main states of matter, right? So, can you right? So now we can focus to identify about what matter is. So matter is basically anything that has mass and occupying a space. බරක් තියෙන ඉඩක් ගන්න ඕන දෙයකට අපි matter කියලා කිව්වා, right? So then when we consider about matter, right, there's another thing that we basically come across as the discontinuous nature of matter, right? Thalia, now tell me what do you mean by discontinuous nature of matter? So what is discontinuous nature of matter, Thalia? Yes, Thalia, I'm listening. I can't even see you, Thalia.
Sir, can I tell?
Sir, can I tell?
Sir, can I say?
Sir, can I tell?
Sir,
Yes,
can
Thalia,
I?
I'm waiting for you. Yes, Vidun. What do you mean by discontinuous nature of matter? Vidun.
Sir, can I tell?
කවදාවත් ඉවර වෙන්නේ නැහැ.
මොකක්? Vidun, even I can't even see you, Vidun. That's true, Shalini.
Sir, can I
Sir,
tell?
can I say?
Sir, can I tell?
Sir,
Yes,
can
Siddhi.
I? The status exists as a collection of particles and have a space among them.
Right. That is basically what discontinuous nature of matter is. So when we consider matter, there are spaces in between the matter particles. Matter ke particles atara, right? So matter is basically consisting in the particular state. That is the particular state of matter, right? So particular state of matter again, matter is basically consisting of particles, and these particles have discontinuous nature again. Particles have spaces in between them, right? Discontinuous discontinuous and particular nature of matter. Discontinuous and particular nature of matter. So that is basically, so matter is basically consisting of particles, and these particles have a very much higher space right in between them, right? Matter ඇතුලේ space එකකට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා, right? So keep in mind about the matter and the particles and everything. There was a huge debate which happened, before this time, right? 4th BC and 3rd BC, those time period, right? So basically, the debate was basically happened in between what you call Democritus and Aristotle, right? Democritus කෙනෙක් කෙනයි Aristotle කියන philosophers දෙන්න අතර තමයි මේ debate එක තිබුණේ. ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් මතක තියාගන්න. That is a point that you should keep in mind. There was a debate among Democritus and Aristotle about the nature of matter, right? How the matter is
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Durga.
We should remember the date, like
No,
274.
When you're doing science, right, you don't actually need the dates and everything about those things. You don't need the dates of the scientists. So scientists, names and everything you much needed, right? But don't ever buy out those years and everything. You don't need those, right?
Sir, do we need to rejoin again?
Yeah. Otherwise, right. Miyasi, can you just quickly tell me arrange an experiment to show me the discontinuous nature of solid? Tangala කියන බාන Miyasi, how we can prove me that there are spaces in between the solid particles, Miyasi? Just tell me a brief, very simple experiment that you can do. Miyasi.
Circle.
Yes, Gulmira.
When we put chalk into a red ink,
What happened? So you have to tell me everything.
because the observation is chalk has small amount of particles.
That is not the observation. Observation is what? Observation
The
is,
ink is absorbing to the chalk.
yeah, it absorbs the ink to the chalk. That's true.
The ink is
What
going
happened?
to the matter, going through the particles.
Yes, true. That's correct. Ink is going through the particles, and what happens? You can see the ink is moving up, right? You can actually see the ink is moving up against the gravity. ගුරුත්වාකර්ෂණයට එරෙහිව දැන් ඔන්න අර particles උඩට යනවා. Ink is going up against the chalk, along the chalk. Chalk එක along ink එක පොඩ්ඩක් උඩට නවර බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ දැන් ඇයි මේ අතර chalk මේ ink එක උඩට එන්නේ? Because why? In between the chalk particles, chalk is a solid, no? In between the solid chalk particles, right? Now the ink is traveling. Travel කරන අනිවාර්යෙන් ඉඩක් තියෙන්න බෑ. So we conclude that solid particles have space right in between the solid particles here. Correct? Right. Didungi, tell me an experiment to show whether that liquid has a discontinuous nature. How we can prove that, Didungi? Right? Why does that happen? Right. So I'm asking what exactly happened. So what happens? So when we put condis to yeah.
Deposit into the beaker.
Right, very good. What happens? So the condensed particles moves in through the particles in between the water. Water particles අතර මැදට condensed එක යනවා. Condensed particles move. That is why අපිට මේක අපව බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන එක මේක සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම purplish color බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. Right? Right. So then Thalia, tell me about discontinuous nature of gases. How can you prove that gases they have a discontinuous nature? What is the gaseous experiments that we can do? Thalia here, I can't even see you. Maybe විභාග දාන නිසා අයින් කරන්න නැති වෙන්නේ. Otherwise I have already removed you. Thalia? මේ පාර නැද්ද? හොයාගන්නත් නෑ. මයින්. Yes, answer me, Thalia. Right. Yes, Khalna, tell me an experiment.
No.
Huh? What, Khalna? Can't hear you properly. Yes, Iman. Iman, tell me. Mr. Smile. Just tell me an experiment that you can do to prove me that the gases have a space height in between the gaseous particles to prove the discontinuous nature of gases.
By putting nitrogen dioxide to a beaker?
Why don't anything? So did I ask the question from you now? Right, so I'm giving you the chance. I told you once before, so don't ever do that. Don't lose other chances, huh? So basically, we can put the brown color nitrogen gas. So when we have brown color nitrogen gas in a certain one beaker, right, a gas jar, right, and then to basically make it connect with another gas jar. So basically, you can see that both the gas jars share equal amount of nitrogen dioxide gas. They basically what happens? They basically diffuse through the gases atmosphere, right, which proves that existence of spaces in between the gaseous particles. Gases අතර space එකක් තියෙනවා කියන එකට මෙතනින් ඔප්පු කරලා පෙන්නනවා. particles වල මොකක්ද space එක ටිකක් වැඩි, right, but gases වලට වඩා particle වල මොකක්ද space එක අඩුයි, right. Basically the space among the particles are much lesser compared to gases, right, and the space among the particles are higher compared to the solids, right. Then tell me about the features of gases, Dirugi. Some features of gases, gaseous state. True. Particles can freely move, right? What do you mean by the binding force? Gas is not actually compressible. You can press it, not, yeah. True, you can consider it, right? That's true. So I'm asking you, what do you mean by the binding force? What is the binding force? So actually, when we consider about all the matter, right? That's true. But it's, you're still not answering to my question, right? So binding force is basically when we consider about solid, liquid, and gases. All the matter in all the three states, they basically have the what do you call the particle should be connect with another particle, right? So in a solid, this connection is very much higher, very highly connective. But other connect they have a higher what do you call binding force. Binding force is higher. In a liquid, the binding force is a bit lesser than solids. In gaseous particles, gaseous molecules, the binding force is very much lesser than that of solid than liquids, right? Binding force කියලා කියන්නේ particle එකක් අනිත් particle එකත් එක්ක එකට බැඳලා තියාගන්න bind කරලා තියාගන්න force. Right. Right. Now tell me about several what do you call what do you mean by an element, Anna? What is an element? The definition behind an element.
Your substance with definite properties.
Right. So elements are basically pure substances with definite properties which cannot be furthermore divided by using a chemical or a physical methods, right? අපිට මොකක්වත් ක්‍රමයක් භාවිතා කරලා මේ elements ඉතින් ඉහළට divide කරන්න බෑ. Those are the what අපි කියන elements කියලා. The pure substances which cannot be furthermore divided and they have definite properties, right? Then you cannot divide them by physical or chemical method. Physical භෞතික විදියට රසායනික විදියට මොකක් හරි ක්‍රමයක් භාවිතා කරලා අපිට ඒගොල්ලන් වෙන් කරලා ගන්න බෑ. Right? Basically elements are pure substances having definite properties which cannot be furthermore divided by using physical or chemical method. Examples are, can you remember elements? Sulfur, iron, copper, carbon, hydrogen, helium, deuterium,
Chlorine,
boron,
Aluminium.
chlorine, calcium, right? Anything.
zinc,
Yes, mercury, magnesium, zinc, everything basically
Copper.
falls under elements. Copper, yes, true. Right.
Aluminium.
Aluminium,
Aluminium.
right. Every
Gold.
element, right. Salt is not an element. Salt is a compound.
Not salt, gold.
Gold. Gold is an element, right? Right. Now, yes, tell me about compounds. What do you mean by a compound?
Poor substance in which two or more elements
Yeah, compounds are basically
Chemi-
substances.
chemically
Compound.
combined in a fixed ratio.
Yes, very good. So compounds are basically compounds are homogeneous pure substances. What do you mean by homogeneous? Homogeneous කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ?
don't know.
Homogeneous is basically similar. Right? Homogeneous කියලා කියන්නේ ඔක්කොම similar කියන එක. Same type, similar type කියන එක, right? So homogeneous pure substance which have two or more elements. Right? ඒ කියන්නේ when the mixture is getting formed, මෙන්න මේ compound එක elements වල හැදෙන mixture එක is basically similar. Right? එක සමාන. එක විදිහම තමයි බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. But it has two elements. Two or more elements can be inside of the compound. Right? So basically compounds are homogeneous pure substances having two or more elements which are chemically combined in a fixed ratio. Right? And keep in mind there are around 120 elements. ඒ වගේ චුටි චුටි points are important because why? They can be question these in MCQs. Right? Right. What is the definition behind a compound? Dinugi? What is a compound, Dinugi? මම අහුවෙක මම කිස්සලා කිව්ව එක මම ආයෙ අහුවෙද?
So can I tell?
Second.
What is again? As I told you, compound is consisting of homogeneous pure substances having two or more elements combined in the fixed ratio. Right. Now, Situki, tell me about some physical properties of matter. Tell me three physical properties of matter. And you have to explain what that is as well. Yes, Situki.
Luster.
Right. What do you mean by luster?
Shiny surface due to reflection of sunlight.
Right. Good.
Rancidity.
Right.
Mass of a volume.
Rancidity.
Density.
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 Yes, density is mass of volume. Right. Another one.
So can I tell?
Yes, Miyasi.
Hardness.
Yeah. What do you mean by hardness?
The material to wear and tear.
Yes, resistance. Right? Yes, Shalini. Yes, text is also there. Right?
Excuse
So
me,
what
sir.
do you mean by malleability, Shalini? What do you mean by malleability?
Sir, can I tell?
What is ductility, Miyasi?
ability to be drawn into a wire without breaking.
That's true, right? And the malleability, that's true, Shalini. Malleability basically can be hammered into thin sheets, right? So, what do you mean by expansivity, Vihanga?
Larger in size.
Huh? No, expansivity. I'm asking what is the process of expansivity?
Yeah.
What is expansivity again?
Expanding the thing.
Yeah, the ability to expand. Or basically ability to increase the volume of a substance. Right? Iron bar iron bar ke length එක, right? Width එක ඔක වැඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Exposure to sunlight and all. Right? So basically expansivity is the process where or the condition of increasing the volume without increasing the mass. Never the mass. Mass එක කවදාකවත් වැඩි වෙන්නේ නැහැ. බර වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ මේක expand වුණා කියලා. Just the volume is only volume is the only factor which get increased. Right? So Harlan, what do you mean by thermal conductivity? What is this thermal conductivity? What is this thermal conductivity, Harlan? What do you mean by thermal conductivity? Yes, Vidun. Vidun, what is thermal conductivity? Vidun.
Sir, can I take?
So can I say?
Sir,
Wait,
can
Vidun,
I?
tell me. Vidun, tell me the answer. What is thermal conductivity? Right, Situgi. What is thermal conductivity?
Second.
Ability to conduct heat through the substance.
Right, ability to conduct heat. Let's just imagine a situation where you're holding a certain spoon towards the gas cooker, and then after a couple of minutes, after a couple of some time, the spoon get heated up. You can even feel it on your hand, right, on your hand. So what is electrical conductivity then?
Ability to conduct
Can I-
electricity through the substance.
Ability to conduct electricity through a certain substance, right? So keep those in mind. So you have to keep those, each and every single one of those in mind, right? That is very much
Excuse me,
highly
sir.
important. Yes, Durbi.
Sir, for compounds, can we take sulfur?
Sulfur is an element. If you have only one type of thing, that is an element.
Then for compounds, sir?
Compounds, we can't take sulfur. Sulfur is an element. Sulfur dioxide, that is a compound. Carbon is an element. Carbon dioxide is a compound. And carbon, copper sulfate is an element. Copper sulfate is a compound. Right? So elements are basically consisting of only one type of substance. Only one particular element is there. But whereas in a compound, we have number of elements connected and combined together in a certain fixed ratio. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Right. All right. Then, since the time is up, so we'll continue the rest of the lesson on Wednesday, on Friday then, and just keep
Sir,
in
next
mind.
day we should study fifth lesson.
Sir, what lesson we need to
No, you
study?
keep on studying everything. ඔක්කොමඩි පාඩංගල තියාගන්න. Right? So anyway, fifth lesson, sixth lesson ඔක්කොමඩි බලා ගන්න. So next week කොහොමද fifth එක sixth එක දෙකම ඉවර කරන්න. Right?
Yes, sir.
Because those are highly important. So keep those in mind, and then on Friday Friday evening, I'm going to finish off the electricity lesson, right? And then about the
Sir, at what
chemicals,
time the class is having?
I'll let you know, right? So I'll let your class teacher know, then she'll put your message, right? But just keep in
Okay.
mind Friday evening, no? Keep that in mind, right?
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Alright.
sir.
So when do you have science?
Friday.
20.
26.
Saturday.
26th?
No,
21st.
21st.
No, sir, 21st.
Are the opening?
Firstly, we are.
You are
Yes,
starting with
sir.
science?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Science and French.
Oh, really? Right. So then on 20th, I'll do an extra session then. No worries in that. So shall I do an extra session tomorrow also then?
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Tomorrow is Thursday, right?
Thursday, sir.
So
Thursdays.
Thursday around let's say
Sir, evening.
in the morning you have classes, no? School classes are there, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So let's say right after around 2:30,
Okay, sir.
right?
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Just around 30 to 40 minutes, huh?
So
Okay, sir.
tomorrow sir is asking questions regarding 5th and 6th
Yes.
lesson, sir.
5th and 6th lesson, yes. ඒකෙන් mainly මහනවා අනිත් ටිකක් මම කරනවා, right? කොබරික.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, right. Alright, take care of yourself for dinner.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Study, yeah?
Thank you. Have a nice day,
Bye-bye.
sir.
Thank you, sir.